Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah, yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
Hey, what up? What up?
What up, Sid? Voices for the voiceless. We back. Am I good? Do I sound good?
Yep, you sound perfect.
Okay, okay. I was over here messing around with the pitch man thing. When we sound good, we got my sis Mika and I are back after the new year. We got A Child in the house. What's up, A Child?
Hey, panel.
Appreciate that. Say fire
Chat.
intro for real. DV Wild Wild. Yo, what's good with it, bro? With chat, what's good with the DV? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Happy New Year to everybody. This the first time, the first live of 2025. So we coming off the New Year. Hope everybody had a great New Year. You know, um, and we're gonna talk about that. How was your New Year, sis?
Oh, it was good. I brought it in church and it was good, you know. A family. So I had a good New Year, bro. Just to be amongst the living, it was good to me. So I'm just grateful.
Oh yeah. Hey, no, DV, that's me, cause that ain't Niecy. He thought you was Niecy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Hey,
Niecy.
bro.
Yeah. Big bad in the building with her, bro. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Happy New Year to everybody. Thanks for sliding through. You say, man, DV say I'm good. Happy New Year. That's what's up, man. It's great to hear. Great to hear. Um, we definitely got a lot to talk about. My New Year's was, pretty swell. I had a great time with the family as usual. And yeah, man. What's the word? What's the word? The word on the curb is, unfortunately, we got to talk about it, y'all. Um, first day of the year, we had two terrorist attacks. A man in New Orleans in the F 150 runs over a crowd, unaliving, I believe, 14 people. So that was just an unfortunate situation, and I want to go to that video. So y'all bear with me while I bring that up. And it's just insane, you know. Start off the new year like that.
About the suspect, what do we know? Well, we know now that, perhaps some of the explanation of why the FBI very
Shout out to the content creator, as always. Uh, Anton Daniels is the content creator. So we're going to get into this right now.
quickly started treating this as a terrorism investigation. One of the things they found at the scene was an ISIS flag that is believed to have been with the suspect. And so, again, that's one of the key factors here in treating this as a federal terrorism investigation. The other thing that went to this determination by the FBI was finding IEDs inside an ice chest inside the truck. Again, that's one of the reasons why we heard a couple of booms where the bomb squads was essentially detonating to make sure that the devices were rendered safe, to make the scene safe for investigators to be able to do their work. Now, again, one of the things that they're still working on is to figure out whether anyone else might have been associated with this person. They know a lot about this person. They know he's a U.S. citizen. They know that there are some links in Texas. We don't know exactly at this point whether he was still living in Texas or just perhaps moved from there. Again, part of that is all of that is still under this investigation. We also know that the vehicle, Phil, was owned by someone else. It was rented through an app where people put their private vehicles up for rental.
Turo.
It's very common nowadays for people to do that. And so one of the things we did was we went to the person who owned the vehicle. That person's still alive, clearly. So it's not the person who was behind the wheel at the time of this incident.
So essentially, what they're basically saying, and this is what's being communicated to you guys, is that had this guy, and he's a terrorist or a radicalist, and he rented a vehicle from Turo. I know that it was a Ford Lightning because I covered this story on the Millionaire Morning Show today. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Millionaire Morning Show. A Ford Lightning is much heavier, because of the battery pack than a traditional regular pickup truck. It was a pickup truck. And on New Year's Eve, he ran his truck into a whole bunch of people that was on Bourbon Street. He ran past the barricades. The police wind up killing him. And in addition to that, they are saying that they found, and the new revelation is the ISIS flag, okay? But they're saying that they found all of these explosive devices inside of the truck, which would then lead you to believe that he wanted it to be much more deadly than it wound up being. He got into a shootout with police officers. They wound up killing him. 2 police officers were wounded. As of right now, or as of the recording of the video earlier for the Millionaire Morning Show, they said that it was 10 people that were dead, over 35, up to 35 that was injured. Now, people are starting to describe what happened at the scene. And in addition to that, at the time, they were saying that they were not looking at it as a terrorist, or they didn't label it as a terrorist attack yet. I don't see how you cannot label this as a terrorist attack, considering that they found the flag and he killed 10 people and he had explosive devices and a vest in the truck. So apparently he wanted to get out the truck or do something else when it comes to injuring and maiming more people. One thing that bothers me about this is that whenever I start to hear the word ISIS or, radicalists and things like that, I can't help but to put on my conspiracy theory hat, because I know that there are crazy people in this world, but then at the same time, I also know that there is things that are perpetuated against Americans, and people are often at times looked at as casualties for a bigger and a deeper agenda. Now, I can't say that that's for sure. This is just my opinion. And this is also something that I'm just not overlooking. So I'm not saying it is or it isn't yet.
I want to stop that right there, sis. So this was the first attack that he's talking about that happened on New Year's. And as you see, he said 10 people, but I think it went up to like 14 was the total. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your initial thoughts when you heard about that?
Well, my initial thoughts, I'm like, well, the timing. Like, this happened at like 3 a.m. on New Year's, and I just gotta put a little bit more thought into this whole thing, because again, I just don't trust this stuff. I don't trust I just don't. Because when I looked at the video of this guy, like, he just seemed like he was a real estate agent. And I know they say you never judge a book by its cover, but I just didn't see this in this man, you know? Like he was just literally like almost like I look at my neighbor, like, you know, a really down to earth guy, real estate agent, you know, had love for his family. And I just would have never saw that just based off of going to his YouTube channel and stuff. But, you know, I don't know, bro. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
get it. Yeah, you would never have thought that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy to know that he was a military veteran as well. And then another attack happened. So I want to load that up so we can check that out. A cyber truck exploded in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas. It is crazy. So let's cue that up. And this is a righteous perspective.
This has been a sort of interesting development. You know, the images of the Cybertruck parked outside the Las Vegas property went viral. You know, sort of, I think people thought it was an accident and that no one was hurt. And so there was a sort of bizarre symbolism and that it was a Cybertruck, it was not Trump. As it's developed, it seems that this is being taken far more seriously. What have we learned about what authorities know and how they're investigating this?
Right, Chris. So according to the reporting of myself, my colleagues Andrew Blankstein and Kelly O'Donnell, right now, 3 senior U.S. law enforcement officials say that this explosion of a Tesla Cybertruck, kind of in the portico there where you saw that smoke rising from in front of Trump's property in Las Vegas, is being investigated, at least initially, as a potential act of terrorism, and that it was, quote, intentional. And there was a...
Were you recently injured in a car accident? Look at this check for $160.
All right, guys, so it seems as if the year of our Lord, 2025, is already off to a bang. And explosion.
I want to give a shout out to the content creator of Conservative Perspective, Black Conservative Perspective.
Start, literally. Because the story that we have to cover here today involves what appears to be another terrorist attack in the wake of the terrorist attack that happened in New Orleans, which you had some lunatic with an ISIS flag decide that he wanted to mow down innocent people in the middle of Bourbon Street as people are celebrating the new year. Okay, an absolutely terrible attack. At least 10 people are dead. More bodies are being discovered. Horrible stories. Horrible stories. Okay. And we have another story here that could have been just as bad. This story, again, involves a Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, Elon Musk and President Trump are public enemy 1 and public enemy number 2 to the mainstream level media. They were seen partying last night at Mar-a-Lago together, despite the reports from the media that Elon Musk was getting on Trump's nerves, okay, and that he was wearing out his welcome. It seems as if those things were not true, and that their relationship is probably as strong as it's ever been, okay? It doesn't seem as if Elon Musk is actually causing Trump any real issues, okay, despite the narrative from the mainstream level media. So with that being said, again, there are many possible motives for this attack, but as of right now, it seems as if it's connected to whatever the motive was behind the New Orleans attack, because this Cybertruck apparently was rented using the same app that was used by the terrorists in New Orleans to carry out that attack. Okay, so
I want to stop there right there. So this attack, they're trying to say it has some type of connection to the other attack, which in this one, no one was actually hurt except for the alleged person that blew up the Tesla truck in front of the Trump Tower. But they both were military. They both went to the same military program or something like that. It's just, you know, and they both rented vehicles off the app Turo. So, sis, what was your initial thoughts when you heard this? And this, all of this happened on the same day, January 1st. As the title says, what in the world is going on?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like a shocker to me for both of them. Like, I mean, it happened on around the same time. And two, I forgot to mention too with the first guy, um, that was in what was it, New Orleans? What was strange, I saw where that gentleman, well, the FBI had sent in a news reporter, okay? And she went in and they were saying how they sent her in to destroy some of the evidence, pertaining to this, the guy that committed the crimes in New Orleans. So it's just to me, I just feel like you got both of these terrorist attacks that happened on the same day, were probably around the same time, and the one that happened in Las Vegas, it just seemed as though, I don't know if he had some type of evidence that he was going to come forward with, because I don't know if you have that letter or not, with the letter that the guy was reading on. I seen it on, I can't remember what channel it was, but I don't know. And what's really strange to me is that they're trying to hurry up and close these cases. You know, like
Right.
they're just rushing to get these cases closed.
It's very interesting that they are rushing. It's kind of like on the hush hush. A lot of details are being hidden from the people, so it's very interesting. But and sad at the same time. I mean, first of the year, what a way to start off the first of the year. Especially that situation down there in New Orleans. And I remember we were talking about it, sister. You were saying that, like you said earlier, you didn't believe that the people that they're saying did it possibly did. It might have been a cover up. And remember the guy that blew up the truck in front of well, allegedly blew up the truck in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, had
Mm-hmm.
written a letter. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could break that down for him.
Well, I don't know. I just got bits and pieces, but it was an interesting letter that he had. It was an email that he emailed the guy he was on. I want to say, was it Dana White, or it might have been Joe Rogan that he was on, but it was just a letter that he had written or type emailed, and it had some interesting things in there that would kind of expose uh the military government. So I guess that's why people just still have the questions as to what's really going on, like, with, like, did this guy really commit this crime? I mean, of course they say, oh, we have the evidence to say that he did it because of his, the DNA and this, that, and the third, and I'm sure. But it's like, or what were they trying to cover up their tracks? What did this guy, what was he going to expose? You know,
Exactly.
so yeah,
Seemed like a whistleblower. And
yeah.
another, yeah. So all of that happened on the first, and then as we know, Trump had the case. No, all those cases while he was campaigning, uh, he had pretty much got dismissed or thrown out. But there's one case in New York State um, with the hush money trial. This was crazy. Now, this man is the president-elect, set to be taking office. He's already been certified as of Monday, yesterday, by Kamala Harris and the Senate. And, so he's going to be inaugurated on the 20th. They certified the election. So, but, last week, uh, New York City decided that they were going to go forward with their trial, and he was found guilty in it, and they were going to go ahead and sentence Donald Trump on January 10th, which is coming up this Friday. Like, what in the world? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Would you want to sentence the president, and there's no real there's no real consequence, no real punishment. They talk about no jail time. They saying there's not no fines. Just all this, and to me it just seems like it's a last little jab at him while Biden is still in office. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and bring up a video, and y'all ahead so y'all can check this out. And shout out to the content creator. It is a righteous perspective. I get that queued up, y'all.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today I had to bring this one to your attention because the events unfolding are not only shocking but demand a closer look. Let me keep you informed on what just happened outside of Donald Trump's tower in Las Vegas yesterday, a situation that's as concerning as it is unprecedented. Listen.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. This is not the right video. Let me take that one down. My bad. I got that one coming next.
It's okay, bro. Take your time.
Yeah. I ordered a little messed up. I had it.
The worst option is the one suggested by
Here we go.
Brad, that you should just suspend the sentence and keep the president as pending sentencing for 4 years. That was a perfectly horrific idea that's being pushed by many. And I think that many
Jonathan,
people on the
We've got less than 30 seconds left in the show, but I want to ask you, what do you expect the Trump team to do in response to this? Can they appeal it? What happens next?
I don't think they're going to have a lot of luck appealing this. I think the appellate court's going to want to see what he rules. Because if he comes down with a sentence that doesn't bind the president, then a lot of the constitutional problems fade away.
So you expect that we will see the sentencing go through. We will see a sentence.
Yeah, they may well appeal this, but the odds are always in favor of trial judges in these holding these hearings. The appellate courts like to see sentences finalized so that they can review.
It's just crazy watching this, knowing this man is the president, and they trying to sentence him to some little petty trial.
Okay.
Jonathan
Turley, thank you so much. That is the story.
Hey, Sean Hannity. Yeah. So you seen that, you heard that. So to be honest with you, honestly, this is kind of like good news, right? Because we know that they're not going to try to lock up Trump, right? They're not going to get in the way of his ability to actually be president of the United States. Again, it's just really a thorn in Trump's side. They're only doing this so that they can get a symbolic victory that, Trump is officially a convicted felon, right? When he's sworn in, okay, that's what the media will be saying, right? They'll be like, Trump is the first convicted felon to be sworn in, right?
That's crazy. That's all that this is about. It's about to be able to say, he's a convicted felon, because prior to that, he wasn't, quote unquote, officially a convicted felon if you haven't been sentenced. I didn't know that until you brought that to my attention, though.
Yep. Yep. So
that is why this is happening.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, so yeah, that's the main reason why, because I like it's just strange. You announced this Friday after work hours that you're gonna be sentencing him. And I find it, of course, he was voted in. Well, no, Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, was voted in on Friday, and so it was just mighty funny that you announced this after hours that Trump will have a sentencing a week from that date, And again, I agree with a Black conservative perspective. They just want to put that stain on his name, because everybody's been running around saying, he's a convicted felon, and da 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 da. But he's actually not a convicted felon until he's sentenced, And so, yeah.
Exactly. It's just the pettiest of the petty that we've been seeing. This has been far from peaceful transfer of power. Biden just signed some type of affidavit saying that no president can do drilling or fracking, as digging for oil and stuff like that. He just signed that, knowing that that's part of Trump's campaign promise, and this is just petty. Like, you already selling off the border wall. Like, they're doing everything to try to slow down this man's process to becoming the president. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Donald Trump and Thomas Jefferson, both convicted felon presidents. Right, news. Like, who cares, bro? Like, don't nobody care, man. Long as this man can bring gas prices down, chicken wings ain't $50 for two, and we can go ahead and get some bread. You know what I'm saying? That's all the American people care about.
Mm-hmm. Don't care about all that.
This is happening. Okay, that's exactly why this is happening. So that's what this is all about. Now, again, the good thing here is that now that the sentence is being handed down, who knows? Maybe Trump will try to appeal it. I don't know. But regardless, once it's handed down, now they can start the process of actually appealing the whole thing, right? Of appealing the ruling, the
news right on time. He said it right on time. We all know the case won't survive appeals court. Thank you. That's exactly what Black conservative perspective is saying. This is not gonna do anything. It's not gonna make it past, I would say the end of the year before this is tossed out completely, like the rest of those cases.
The judgment against them, the guilty verdict, and go through all of the issues that everybody knows was very prevalent throughout that trial. Okay, we know that the hush money trial was rigged. It is only a verdict that could have been reached in New York. They went out of their way to try to get Trump. Alvin Bragg essentially made up laws and crimes and stuff like that in order to go after Trump and to get around the statute of limitations. That's what.
Now, Alvin Bragg says that dude, Alvin Bragg just seemed like he got a hard on Trump or something, just like that lady Fonnie Willis in Georgia.
And Letitia James.
All these prosecutors running around trying to prosecute this man. And then remember, it was all in the news. He got indicted again, another indictment, he got 55 indictments.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that mess disappeared. This is the last of the dud they got left. They trying to hold on to before the man take off.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. On Soros's payroll, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I need to leave that up there. They getting paid to do this. This ain't nothing that, this a money thing with this. They trying to prosecute this man.
And it's a money and it's a little power thing too, because you prosecute, you look at not Fonnie Willis, but Kamala Harris, she started out as a prosecutor, and then she worked her way on up. And I said the same thing with Fonnie Willis. Like, I guarantee you, if Kamala Harris would have won president, it was some type of position for these people, I don't know what it would have been, but yeah. For sure.
That's what happened. Everybody knows it was sham. And I think it is likely to be overturned in the New York appeals court once the Trump team can get around to actually appealing the guilty verdict. And at that point, he will no longer be a convicted felon if he is successful. Okay. So if the sentencing had just hung out there for the next 4 years, he would not be able to actually appeal the guilty verdict, right? But now that the sentencing is coming down, he can actually get started on appealing the verdict. And I am hoping that President Trump is successful so that the mainstream media and the Democrats can eat crow from all of their claims and their boohoo whining, crying about Trump being a convicted felon. Hey, Trump is a convicted felon. He's a felon. Which, by the way, the Democrat Party and the liberal media, they support felons, usually. Okay, if you are a violent criminal, they will support you. They will go out of your way to make sure that you're not smeared. Okay. This is what they do, okay, because that's racist, okay? But, when it comes to Trump, all of that love for felons and criminals goes out the window, okay? They use being a convicted felon as a smear. The hypocrisy is stunning. But anyways, again, my point is that this is low-key a good thing because it allows Trump to go ahead and get started on the appeals process in regards to getting rid of the label as a convicted felon. I have faith that he will be successful. I don't know for sure. You just never know in New York because of how rigged things are. But hey, look at the Letitia James silver fraud case, the business fraud case. That one, it looks like, is likely to be overturned by the appeals court in New York. So who knows? Anything could happen. But yeah, I mean, this right here is the judge basically saying, well, the only thing we can really do at this point is to get a symbolic victory because Trump effectively beat us by becoming president of the United States. He won in the court of public opinion, and that's essentially where we're at. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Shout out to Black Perspective. I love this channel. You stop that. Got our bro Noobs in the building. What up, Noobs? What's poppin' with you,
up,
bro?
man? How's everybody feeling?
Good, good.
Yeah.
What's up, Noobs?
Good, man. Happy New Year to you, bro.
Yep. Same to you. You know, I'm still on the edge of my seat until you know, I see a swear-in ceremony.
I know that's
Yeah.
right. And I know that's right. And we just gotta be careful, man, and like keep our head on the swivel. These people are, you know, doing all type of nefarious things in public places where there's a lot of crowds of people, it seems. It's just, you know, people pushing people off platforms on the subway. It's a lot going on to start off the new year, but I think this is going to be one of the best years that we've seen in a long time in this country, as far as, you know, the economy, as far as securing the border. You know, I'm excited for this administration and this inauguration. Like you said, God willing, and the creek don't rise. January 20th can't get here fast enough, you know.
Yep. I think it's going to take a little while, and because I mean, we won't see, you know, the real results of the things that Trump wants to do. You know, he'll get the legislation and, you know, orders done, whatever he needs to do, like in the first 18 months, you know. And he said that before. I can do everything I need to do in the first 18 months, but we're not going to see the effects until after that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
I
I
agree,
mean,
Noobs.
you got Potato Joe out here trying to sell off, you know, border wall fence as fast as he can for, you know, 50 cents on the dollar. You got scalpers out there buying it up and trying to sell it back, you know, to the government for 10 times that amount, sometimes 100 times that amount, you
That's
know.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's just the level of, you know, pettiness. I've never
oh
seen an
yeah.
administration this
Oh
petty.
yeah.
Like, man, it's just burn it down, Joe. And
Yep.
who knows if Joe is actually the one that's doing this? You know what I'm saying? We know he's not in his right state of mind. He's not mentally aware
No,
like
he's
that.
not. But you know what? I mean, I have to give him some credit because he's definitely doing the bitter old man thing. I mean, you've seen him snapping at reporters in the last few days, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And
He,
so, you know, he might. Nobody could ever hold him responsible. Okay, but is he part involved in? Oh hell yeah, he is, because like you said, he's pissed at both sides.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, just burn it all down.
Yeah, man. What's your take on these attacks on New Year's? I mean, you think it's some type of, you know, government thing that or they just covering up?
I think they have a hand in it, but here is, and you know, I'm good for the conspiracy. All right, I'm good for the conspiracies because, you know, I have zero faith in our government agencies at this point, and y'all know that. But the path, if the information that we're being given is to be believed, the path that he chose to take to Las Vegas um, leads me to believe that you know, maybe he was on his last trip ever and he knew that. Okay, what doesn't fit are the text messages between him and his girlfriend at the same time. Because now, he might not wanted her to know anything or whatever. And, maybe he was feeling like, like the weight had lifted because he had already made the decision to do what he was going to do. But man, because he was all geeking out and everything, that he was in a Tesla truck, and he was out and traveling. And so, the communications between him and his girlfriend make me suspicious that he was going to do what he intended to do. His travel route, however, man, I mean, because I thought about that for a while. And it's like, man, if I'm going to do this, there's a couple of things that maybe I want to see, before I go out. And then the letter that the dude got, and I, like you guys, I can't remember what show it was on. It was not on a big one. It was not on somebody that I regularly watch, but the dude had been sending him these letters repeatedly over days. And then when that show host discovered, his name after the explosion, he's like, oh crap. He's like, man, I talked to that guy. And so this is like, the day after the explosion happened, and he's reading this guy's, memorandum, the note, saying that what he was doing and everything. And I don't know, man, I'm conflicted on that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where we just gotta let more developments surface and
Yeah,
yeah,
and I'm just trying to put myself in that dude's frame of mind. Because just by virtue of his job, just assume that that he knows things that we don't know. All right. Um, the places that he works, the missions that he does, that sort of thing. Whether the information he's gathered is correct or not is really irrelevant. What he believed is what's relevant. And and if it was like in his memorandum, where he said, hey, the only way you get any attention about anything that you say is by going out big. Now, given that guy's occupation, a job, could he make a bomb that went kaboom? I
yeah.
think he could have easily. But instead, he made one that made some pretty lights and fizzled and didn't even break the windows of the Trump Towers. And so, that part fits in with what he was allegedly trying to do, if we're to believe the memorandum.
Right, exactly.
And so
he
the
had the
dude,
capacity to really do some major damage, but just had a
exactly.
few firecrackers, some fireworks in front of the Trump Tower.
Exactly. And so, but I mean, somebody that is in that frame of mind, I would think would have a difficult time carrying on a text conversation with his girlfriend and geeking out about the ride that he's in and that sort of thing. So those two things conflict for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but another thing that was going on, that's still going on is all these drones flying around.
Mm-hmm.
Conspiracies saying that they're dropping off some type of diseases, like another 19 situation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, got the bird flu, a few cases of that starting to surface, and they're trying to line it up for another quarantine type deal out here. I wouldn't be surprised about that either. But
Yeah. And a couple of things, the most recent things that bother me about the drone issue is that, it's pretty much disappeared from the mainstream media.
Mm-hmm.
So and how can it, I mean, if anything, you would think that the noise about it would be getting louder because it's still, look how long it's been, and what do we know?
mm-hmm.
Nothing. And so are we actually going to have to wait until the 20th of January to find out what these clowns are up to?
Exactly.
Because let me tell you something. This is these little drones, this is nothing that a phalanx system can't handle.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that thing? It's a robot gun. They've got land-mounted versions and they got ship-mounted versions. And all it does is track targets in the sky and shoots just thousands of minigun rounds.
Exactly. I mean, we got the most advanced
Yeah.
military in the world.
Yeah.
So, you
And
know,
I
just,
mean, yeah. And so you can't tell me that either we're responsible for it, or B, we know exactly who is, or they do at least.
mhm. It's like they're just trying to, scare the shit out the American people for some reason. Um,
Mhm.
but
Or they're in cahoots with the Chinese.
That,
You
yep,
know,
that
and
too.
the Chinese are, because I mean, there's really only two countries that have this kind of technology. It's us and them. So there's really only two choices.
hmm
The Russians
Well,
got their hands full right now.
yeah, I know it's been two cases of two deaths with the bird flu.
Yeah, and check
It's,
this out. Check this out. You know the dude that we were just talking about? It turns out that he was also like a drone whistleblower.
Wow. The one that that blew up the Tesla truck.
Yeah, the one with the Tesla truck. Yeah, Google that when you get a chance, because I only remember like fuzzy details. But I remember seeing something that tied him in with the drones. I remember what it was. There is a somebody on YouTube did something, because he used to work at one of the sub bases for Area 51. And
Oh
so
yeah, yeah.
and
You know
so,
what?
now a sub base, that doesn't mean submarine. It means it's another remote base that's away from the main base. And
Right.
the other thing that I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, is that he was working with drones. And on his LinkedIn page, he had a line in there about helping to build drones.
hmm
So this lends itself to the idea that maybe he might have done this in order to get attention to this issue.
Yeah, and this video that I got queued up here, it kind of speaks to that.
Hell
So
yeah. Yeah, show
yeah,
me
he
what you
kind of
got,
breaks it
brother.
down. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Content creator is a righteous perspective. So we're gonna and then anytime we can stop it in dialogue.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today I had to bring this one to your attention because the events unfolding are not only shocking but demand a closer look. Let me keep you informed on what just happened outside of Donald Trump's tower in Las Vegas yesterday, a situation that's as concerning as it is unprecedented. Let's start with a bit of context. If you guys recall, I'm sure you guys remember Ryan Ruth. He's the individual who previously attempted to assassinate Donald Trump during the golf outing. Now, it seems that two more incidents, very, very close, are tied to Ruth, and that has emerged at this point. And in New Orleans, a man carried out a tragic attack, leaving 10 people unalived and over 30 people injured. And I heard that there were 2 or 3 more people that have perished as well. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, another individual detonated a Cybertruck outside of Trump's hotel. The unsettling part is that both events happened on the same day and appear to be connected. And here's where it gets even more chilling. Both individuals were reportedly veterans, obtained their vehicles from the same company, and had ties to Fort Bragg, the very military base that Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times prior to his attempted attack on Trump.
Oh, so I skipped past that part. That
play that last part again. What did he say?
Yeah, remember the guy that I think it was the second attempt, Ryan Ruth, I think is his name. He attended the same military base. But yeah, I'm a
Oh, well, now from what I remember, all three of these guys had been at the same military base at one point. But it's not clear whether they ever knew each other.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
right.
I kind of
They were at the same army base for like and I think they overlapped by like a year, but nobody really knows if they knew each other or if you know what I mean. It was just a
That's a hell of
coincidence.
a coincidence, though. Like, that's a hell of-
Yeah, but you know
even
what?
if they didn't know each other.
Here's the thing, brother. I mean, I spent a career in the military, and man, I was a flying crew chief. You know, I flew out in the system. And dude, I come across people that I had not seen for 10, 15 years, man. Just boom, there they were.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I want to kind of, like you said, play it back a little bit just to get a little bit clearer context of what we just heard.
People unalived and over 30 people injured. And I heard that there were 2 or 3 more people that have perished as well. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, another individual detonated a Cybertruck outside of Trump's hotel. The unsettling part is that both events happened on the same day and appear to be connected. And here's where it gets even more chilling. Both individuals were reportedly veterans, obtained their vehicles from the same company, and had ties to Fort Bragg, the very military base that Ryan Roof visited over 100 times prior to his attempted attack on Trump.
Oh, he visited over 100 times. So, okay.
Yeah.
This web of connections is too significant to dismiss as coincidence, raising serious questions about what's truly going on here. According to reports, the individual behind the Cybertruck explosion seemed intent on targeting Donald Trump directly. When you piece together the timeline and the links between these individuals, it paints a deeply disturbing picture of potential radicalization and coordination. Now, Benny, he has some additional insights into these events that we'll delve into shortly. But one thing is clear. This is far from a peaceful political climate. The notion of a peaceful transfer of power seems increasingly distant when incidents like these are occurring. And before we dive in deeper, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. Watch this video all the way through. And I want to send prayers, one, to Donald Trump, but more to the families of the people who have perished in the attack out in New Orleans. My prayers and condolences to you guys. Hey, it is crazy out here, so we must stay prayed up. And as my shirt says, if pray, don't worry. It's something my grandmother used to tell me all the time. She used to say all the time, if you're going to pray, don't worry. God got us. Again, like, share, subscribe, watch the video all the way through. And without further ado, let's go.
Guys, it's Benny. We're not idiots when we see with our own eyes a vehicle explode like this. I don't care if you're an explosives expert, if you are somebody who's just watched enough Hollywood movies. This is a attack. This is what happened in front of the Trump Tower yesterday. And we said from our initial reporting, this seems like a targeted attack. The use of a Cybertruck, the use of a Tesla right in front of the doors, and then the explosion like this that looks like fireworks. You can see here at the bottom, obviously, this is what a actual car battery fire looks like. Okay, it just looks like a car that slowly lights on fire because the battery malfunctions. This is a bomb, and we've been proven right in that, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk confirming that it is a bomb, and it was a bomb carried in the bed of the Cybertruck, as all vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion. Who lit the bomb? Well, the individual that's being investigated as an act of terror, as a terrorist, is in fact a member of the armed forces and a high-ranking member of the armed forces, an operations director, intelligence manager, currently serving, not a veteran. There was an attack by a veteran, an Army veteran. Both guys are in the Army. Within the hour in New Orleans. Now, some are saying that there are some very strange connections between the two of them. Nonetheless, we're going to take at face value what we know now. And what we know now is that both attacks used electric vehicles, electric trucks to be precise. They both targeted iconic American properties or areas like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, very famous, Trump Tower, very famous. They both happened within hours of each other. Both these guys are Army veterans. Both these guys went to Fort Bragg.
were in Fort Bragg and were potentially stationed and serving together. This is the guys linked in. Remote Autonomous Systems Manager, Special Forces Operations Manager, Remote Autonomous System Manager. I'm telling you what that is. This guy was serving in Germany right now. He's flying drones. He's flying drones in Ukraine. I'm telling you, that's exactly, he's doing that right now. He's active service right now, active duty right now. It's crazy. This is crazy. This is the individual whose name is Matthew Leibelsberger, was currently actively serving.
Forces soldier assigned to 10th Special Forces Group, according to 4 U.S. officials, that he holds the rank of Master Sergeant, a senior enlisted rank, these officials said. 3 officials said he was on active duty serving in Germany, and he was on leave when this happened on New Year's Day. He has not been identified publicly, and authorities are still trying to work out whether this was a terrorist attack.
What do you think it was? You can see inside of the vehicle the bomb. Elon Musk says it was a bomb planted inside the vehicle. You know how many cameras there are on these Teslas? Like you see everything that's going on around it. But the connections get darker and stranger. Okay, and I want to.
You guys don't find this suspicious that the mainstream media keeps trying to say that this is not a terrorist attack? One of the first things that the sister from the FBI, when she came out, one of the first things that she said, this is not a terrorist attack. Have you guys noticed that? You guys don't find that suspicious?
Specifically on the Ukraine connection here, because I think this is particularly chilling and scary. Remote Autonomous Systems Manager.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's something with Ukraine involved with this situation as well, a connection to Ukraine. And we've been forking over trillions of dollars for the past 4 years to Ukraine for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's interesting.
He's in Germany. What is this guy doing? He's building and flying drones in Ukraine. That is what this individual is doing. We know this is happening. The New York Times has reported on this happening. America provides drones and sophisticated warfare. They're testing it all out in the front lines of Ukraine. And Germany is where we have.
Whoa! So he was flying flying drones over in Ukraine. Then all
Now
of these
see,
drones.
that's new. I hadn't heard that piece before.
Yeah, that's new. That's new. So now all of a sudden we got all these drones flying around.
Well, now what we need is verification that is correct.
Right. Definitely.
Have huge military installations, and this is where these operations are centralized. He was in the special forces. This guy had extremely high ranking, extremely sophisticated operational detail. And Jack Posobiec saying this is a massive red flag, operations director and intelligence manager with special forces experience. We have no idea if this had anything to do with it. He was married to somebody who has a history, and I don't want to belabor this too much, but she has a history of posting, anti-Trump content. So she was clearly married to somebody who. That's
another thing. Like his wife's social media was riddled with anti-Trump, pro
his
Kamala.
ex-wife.
Okay. Yeah, so that was interesting as well to know that his ex-wife was, anti-Trump, and here we are in front of the Trump Tower on New Year's Day.
Really didn't like Trump, but he himself did not post much from a active perspective. But she was posting like Democrat propaganda. Okay, so we also know that the ISIS terrorist who attacked New Orleans was a Democrat donor. We know that as a matter of fact. Reports are surfacing of the Fort Bragg connection between Shamsur Din Jabbar. This is Shamsur Din Jabbar. This is the ISIS terrorist. And Matthew Leibelsberger, who's been named as the Vegas Cybertruck driver. Fort Bragg has been listed as a common military base, and it's plausible that both of them served there at the same time. Why is this pertinent or interesting? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because Trump's assassin also visited over 100 times Fort Bragg and even stayed the night. That's why it's interesting.
Now, I think all 3 of these guys are airborne,
this
correct?
Is crazy.
Yeah, Fort Bragg, I believe so.
Okay, because I just did a little bit of digging, and the 82nd Airborne. Let's see. Did an assault infantry in Alaska. 13th Airborne was, so that's been disbanded. 17th Airborne was, that's been disbanded. 80th Training Command is a reserve. And so let me check these other ones. 100th Division, Leader Development, Infantry Division, Air Assault, and 108 is the reserve also at Fort Bragg. Yeah, and so the 82nd is all there is. And so if all three of these guys are airborne, then yeah, it makes sense that they would go through, well, Fort Liberty is what it's called now.
Right. The airborne, and then all these drones. If that connection is true, it's like these guys very sophisticated when it comes to things that fly in the air. So
yeah, and so and that guy that they've got on the screen right now, I mean, dude, that guy is up to his buckets in dirty politician. That guy that's in the middle right there, yeah. Because I mean, they talked about him flying back and forth to Ukraine and everything, and trying to make deals. This guy is like who's that fake climate dude that flies all over the world in expensive jets and everything. Trying to say, oh, everybody uses too much electricity except for me and my huge ass house.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Roof, his last name is Roof. He was the guy that was the second attempt on Trump.
Yeah, at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, Mar-a-Lago. He definitely had a lot of Ukrainian just
ties.
everything.
Yeah,
ties, and he was promoting. He was back and forth over there. So it's just interesting to see these connections.
Yeah. And I mean, there is even some suspicion that this guy is dealing arms to Ukraine.
Wow. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
So,
Crazy
and
what they
I
do
don't
is.
know. I don't know if that guy has that kind of sanity or not, but
Yeah, the allegations it's believable, because
yeah. Because we don't know what's going on. And you know what's bad about all of this is all of this happened on January 1st, right? I was like on the second to the last episode, so this is season 4 of a show called The Unit. You ever heard of it?
No.
Oh my goodness. Go to Amazon Prime and watch The Unit.
I'm gonna put this down. Is it good news?
Oh, it's really good, and it'll kind of give you, the at least the Hollywood perspective of what some of these operators are like.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
I gotta check that out myself.
oh yeah, and it starts getting a little, crusty in the 4th season or whatever, but dudes, the first couple of seasons, the first 2 for sure, are absolutely amazing. You'll love it. And the main character, I don't remember his name, is the dude that is the voice for the Allstate commercials. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot the name.
Yeah, and so he plays a sergeant major, and so he runs this team of operators, and they work for a colonel, who is like a secret squirrel guy, who has all the ties, and they report directly to the president. So it's a pretty good show, and it is fiction and everything, but yeah, check it out because, dude, it'll kind of give you an idea of some of the things that these people, not just these people, but their families too, go through.
Are you talking about the guy Dean Winters? He's the guy that he's a black guy.
Yeah.
That does okay, I know you're talking about. Yeah, he has a very deep voice. Yeah.
Yes. He always gets hired for his voice. And so he's like the lead character in this whole thing all the way to the end.
Oh wow. Right. I'll have to check that out. Have you watched The Madness?
The Madness?
Yeah.
No.
Oh God. You gotta watch it.
All right.
It's literally like what we're kind of seeing now. That's
Really?
going like, yeah, it's literally like episodes of just reality,
Oh
reality that's around us.
no.
Yeah,
Oh
it's on
no.
Netflix.
Oh, it's
It's
on
like,
Netflix. I'll check it
yep, you
out.
gotta watch it. Yeah, it's pretty
All right.
good, no.
I'll give anything a shot one time, but I'll tell you, if it's horrible, man, I'm coming back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
But yeah, you guys will like that. You'll binge watch it. If you sit down tonight and watch the first season, you'll be binge watching it for the next, week or two.
Oh yeah, I got to watch that. Then. Have you watched Your Honor?
No, I haven't heard
News?
that.
Oh God. Okay, News, put it down. You need to go
All
watch it,
right.
okay?
All right. I
Yep.
got that one written
It's
down.
on Netflix. Both of them on Netflix.
You know what? Why is it all the women go to Netflix?
Yeah.
Well, you know, everybody say they just Netflix. We go to Netflix and chill.
Yeah, but you know what? I've been through the Netflix because I got a link on my desktop, and every time I go in there, it's like, oh man, chick movie, chick movie, chick movie. Oh my god, another chick movie. What? Oh, and it's like every other line because you know how they show you the same movies, but they put it under different topics, to try to fool you and everything. And it's like every other line is like, oh, comedy romance, oh, complicated romance, oh, bromance. It's like, oh, definitely not clicking on that line.
Oh yeah, I got it. You said The Unit, and what's the other one, Noobs?
That was the only one that I said. The Unit. There's 4 seasons of that.
Okay.
And it is really good because I remember when it was on during prime time back in the day, and I only could catch like once in a while or whatever, and so I never really watched the whole thing. And then when when I saw that the whole thing was on Amazon Prime, I started watching it. Yep, I got hooked like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much every episode is I would say it's pretty intense, because it's a political thriller kind of thing. I don't know if oh geez, I was just talking about the dude the other day. Oh, right on the tip of my brain. Dude writes political thrillers all the time, just like but yeah, I think you'll like it. It'll definitely entertain you.
Well, it just seems like nowadays everything is in movies.
Man,
It's
nowadays I can't find nothing worth watching. I mean, everything that Disney produces is garbage. Absolute garbage. So and that includes Marvel, the whole thing has just gone to hell in a handbasket. And they tried to make, you guys heard they were trying to make another Snow White, right?
Really?
Oh no.
Oh
Mm-mm.
my goodness. Oh. You check out well, I don't know how much back history you want to do, but so they got this chick who just thinks that, her shit does not stink. Okay. So your typical, Hollywood Trollite, that kind of persona. And so they cast this chick as Snow White. Well, they couldn't have dwarves anymore because that was politically incorrect. And so then they decided that they were going to go to, like, instead of 7 dwarves, there was like these 7 rejects. And I swear, this is the most motley crew. These people, if you saw them in your neighborhood, you would go check to make sure that you had ammunition. You know what I'm saying? And so they put out the trailer for this thing, and everybody was utterly terrorized, by this trailer. But the star of the show, Snow White, the spokesperson, she comes out and says, "Oh, y'all don't like it because you racist." And so then it tanked. And I think just like in the last couple of days, I think Disney finally, pulled the plug on it. But
Yeah, you know what? I did see something like
$500
that.
billion into this project, and their star I mean, the picture was bad enough already. So that is half the problem. And then the other half is that their star just went out and just shit on everybody, in public and just completely tanked the entire thing.
Yeah, I did see something, but it was like some type of issue where they would talk about because the Snow White character in this particular film was a black girl, right?
No, she's not black. She's like, I don't know. She's Latino or something. She's
Right. Okay.
olive skinned.
Yeah. So and then it
But
was
she's also a feminist, and so she couldn't be kissed or have a romance with Prince Charming in this version because she don't need a man.
I heard that. I think I know exactly what you're talking about, News.
yeah,
Right,
I remember that.
right.
Yeah.
And this is all of their projects lately. I mean, Disney's stock is in the toilet right now. People are fleeing Disney Plus like it's going out of style. People don't want their kids like watching The Message. Oh well, you shouldn't talk because you're a white kid, or you need to do this or do that, because you're a black kid. And oh my God, the parents are completely sick of it and they're jumping ship like crazy. And nobody's visiting the parks. They just had like their worst holiday, over Christmas and the New Year's in like 10 years or something like that. They're falling apart.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Yeah.
They
Well, and I really think that the CEO is doing like Joe Biden. I think he's trying to destroy the company in order for so that another entity can take it over.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's because you can't be this stupid. Because I mean, Bob Iger, he's been in that position for a couple of years now. And this silliness started before even he became the CEO. And man, it is just a mirror image of all of the things that we talk about. It's just happening again in another forum.
Right. Yeah, in a different
Mm-hmm.
in a different vibe, a different perspective. It's like a micro
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
micro situation to what we see going on with the country.
And
And
I think Elon screwed up their plans by threatening to buy Disney.
mm,
Because
yeah,
I think they were trying to weaken it so that China could get it.
let's talk about that because see a lot of people, even if they're MAGA, or supporters, they support Trump or what have you, everybody feels like, the wild card is Elon. Like, I don't really trust him. He got these computers and robots and stuff like that. Like, they feel like he may be a traitor, quote unquote. Or
I trust him to do one thing over and over and over again, even if I don't agree with everything he says, and that is that he will put it out there like he sees it.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, all right, how he feels about any given issue, and it's important because if he's going to speak publicly about something, it's because he spent a little bit of time thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you don't agree with his assessment on everything, like these fucking electric cars, if somebody gave me one, I would sell the thing tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I had no interest whatsoever. But I mean, it doesn't change the fact that, I mean, it required a considerable amount of brain power and planning and, resource gathering in order to build that monstrosity.
Yeah.
And so, whatever, and so if he's going to think about it first and then say it like it is, then I trust him as far as that goes. Now, as far as his motivations are concerned, I don't know what makes Elon Musk tick.
Yeah. I'm just trusting Trump's judgment when it comes to Elon. I know he was given a specific position to kind of watch government spending along with Vic. So them together, I think that's a good position. They're both billionaires. They're good with money. So cutting down a lot of the government, the federal spending, I think was an excellent choice for them to oversee.
Dude, he's talking about getting rid of taxes altogether.
Right.
And going back to the system where, you know, the tariffs and the GDP pays the government, where they get their cut out of that. And so there would be no more income tax, you know, no federal income tax. You would have a sales tax, and you'd probably still have state tax.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. Less taxes.
You know, and I'm still in favor of, if there must be a tax, why does it got to be such a headache? All right. So if I'm in this income bracket, then just tell me at the end of the year, dude, you're going to have to pay the government this amount of money. You have 12 months to plan and prepare. You know what I'm saying? So flat tax, you know, it doesn't need to be all of this where I got to go fucking hire somebody, you know, to go do all of the studying and get into the widgets and the little lines and the notes and the, you know, I got to hire somebody to look at my simple non-company private citizen stuff and do it so that I don't get, you know, completely bent over.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
insanity, man.
Yeah, the tax infrastructure definitely needs to be reformed. And if Elon and Vic can aid in that, and I'm with that.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a fan of old westerns, and you know, the sheriff, that used to be his job, was the tax collector, and you know, he'd come to your house like once a year and say, you know, oh hey Betsy, I see the farm is doing pretty good. Oh, you got some more horses this year. Oh, that's good. You owe us $1.50 for the year, Betsy. Thank you, ma'am. And off he'd go, and that's it. No forms, you know, no nothing, man.
Exactly. Well, man, I didn't want to make this a long live. I just wanted to come right quick and chop it up with the people. You know, worldly events that's going on. It's got people like, what in the world is going on? And wanted to touch on that and also chop it up with the people. You know, as far as I'm concerned, man, we can go ahead and close this one out. And we'll be back shortly, you know, with some more content. I appreciate everybody coming through. Noobs, everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You got some words for me?
Oh no, just well, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. We wasn't gonna do a long live tonight, but we got
Dude
some
showed
more
up and
catching up
broke
to do.
everything.
Yeah, we got some more catching up to do. So we definitely gonna be coming back live sometime before this week out. So y'all be on the lookout. We'll definitely make sure we, you know, set the StreamYard up and let you guys know. But we appreciate y'all for stopping by, especially you noobs. You always bring some knowledge, you know, when you come through, and we definitely appreciate you. So
I watch too much of this garbage.
Yep. So
All right, thanks for having me, y'all. Everybody have a good night.
All right, you too.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Love you, bro.
I love you too, sir.
Okay. Good night.
Voices for the voiceless. Yeah. Yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak. Voices for the voiceless. Yeah. Yeah. It's the voices for the voiceless. Different points of view and different choices. We the voices for the voiceless. We speak.